So, Dirtball, you're coming on the show for your new book.
Yes, indeed. It's about the scientific layout of men and women's bathrooms.
No, that wasn't it. Men are better than women. So it's a bold statement. What motivated you to write this book?
The truth.
You gotta let the powder dissolve.
That was horrible.
It's Kratom.
This one's off to a rocky start.
And I'm switching cameras. I'm not good at this, folks. So this is my first one. We got a person yesterday. I gotta get self-sufficient at. So watch him struggle.
This is just chaos.
For our audio only people.
Jesus Christ.
Do you want to restart? Take a minute.
Actually, joking on this Kratom.
It's just dry powder.
Okay, we're back.
He's done for. All right, we're back. We're co-workers now. Jeremy and I actually work together.
I'm not actually a writer.
Yeah, no, he's not a writer. It's a great book. It's transformational to my life.
Anyway,
but yeah,
audio only. We're co-workers. Life is changing a lot.
Yeah,
It's the seasons of change, I guess.
Seasons of a lot of change. Since we were going to record a podcast like a month ago, when you were like, "Hey, I'm clean from alcohol." What was as you're drinking Kratom?
Yeah, man, I'm mostly sober. I'm California sober. I guess I'm Eugene sober.
Nicotine too?
Mostly.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and the nicotine is like somewhere in the course of my 3 years of heavily binge drinking every day, I decided to start vaping just for no good reason, and that became its whole own addiction.
It's weird how it becomes a habit, because it starts as this thing of like, oh, I'll just occasionally do that, and then you have a vape, and then you just start hitting it all the time.
Oh, it was straight to all the time. It took maybe like 3 days for it to become a serious all-day habit.
What was harder to break, nicotine or alcohol?
Well, it's different. I think nicotine is a more like all-encompassing addiction. It just like gets way deep in your brainstem.
Yeah.
But it's not as disruptive or destructive as alcohol, and like there's a certain point you can get to with alcohol addiction where it's like physically dangerous to quit quickly.
Were you there?
No. That's when you're drinking like hard liquor breakfast to dinner.
And you were more like soft liquor just at dinner?
Sometimes soft liquor, sometimes hard liquor.
Is wine considered
Sometimes
soft liquor?
Yeah, I mean, there's like liquor and then there's beer and wine.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be like spirits and then, because like ciders are also soft liquor.
Yeah.
Nobody says soft liquor though.
Nobody does. People, it should be a phrase, soft liquor. What was it like when you were like, I mean, because this is like a weird, Kenzie and I are furloughed. We were like doing what the fuck are we doing for like 2-3 months. Mm-hmm. And then a friend offered me some great gig work and I'll take it up. And now I've been like, was I like depressed? I was definitely in like a pit of not doing anything. I was still playing video games, but what was it like how do you, I don't know. And I don't mean to grill you the whole time. I'm like, hey, you fucking alcoholic.
Well, I mean, it's true though. I'm an alcoholic and
Well,
I don't know, man. I think it's, do you know what Pascal's wager is?
Yeah. The religion one?
Yeah, the thing about God. I'm trying to think of alcoholism in terms of Pascal's wager, where it's like whether or not I'm an alcoholic for life, it's probably better to act as though I am. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, and maybe it'll come a time, because I have been super, like, depressed and not grounded, and there's been a lot of things in life leading me to drink the past couple of years, but I don't know. Maybe I'll level up and I'll get to a point where I'm more, like, stable and centered on the inside.
Well, kind of like nicotine. Like, I could think of, I'm permanently going to be a nicotine. Because there's no sense in, I'll just get a vape for a week. Or like, I'll just start drinking again for a week.
Yeah.
But like drinking a day, like would you drink casually at some point, like one beer? Are you one of those people who it's like one beer is too much, 20 isn't enough kind of thing? Like once they get started?
I don't know what that means.
Like once you get started, like one beer is too much. Because then once you have like 20 isn't enough, like you just want to keep going. Like one's already too much.
I mean, sort of. It depends. It
that
really
might be a really dumb quote.
I mean, it's like, I've never had a problem with like drinking too much when I'm with other people. It's like the lonely drinking that became a real problem for me.
The sad, pathetic drink.
Exactly. It is though. Like that's what everyone says. Is they're like, oh, that's how you know you have a drinking problem is when you're drinking alone regularly. And I'm just like, oh my god, puppet guy meme again.
My dad would always say, I only drink if I'm alone or with someone. Funny enough, he's not an alcoholic. Yeah, man, I got off Phenibut, nicotine, pretty much Adderall, and Kratom's the last one to kick. And out of all of those, Phenibut was tricky. Everyone's like, that's like the most dangerous of them. So I'm like, I'll get off it. And I just like, I didn't cold turkey it, so it was okay. But nicotine's just in there. Like you said, it's like a mind virus.
Deep in the brainstem.
Deep. Like 3 days in, you start doing like the mental gymnastics to be like, well, maybe if I get it and I like don't hit it all the time.
Exactly.
Ain't gonna happen.
And that's an interesting thing, though, because I feel like, because I was in AA for a little bit, and I learned a lot about addiction in general in AA, because it's, at this point, it's about more than just alcoholism in that program. There's like people there for all kinds of substances. And the psychology of addiction is pretty much consistent regardless what the substance is. And people go through, I've had myself going through those same exact mental hurdles with like every substance basically, with alcohol, with nicotine. It's like, oh, I'll just get one little can of fucking White Claw or something and I'll just drink that and I'll be fine. But then once you start drinking, it's like, you gotta have more. And it's the same with the vape or the coffee or the anything or weed even. Not so much with weed. We just
almost specifically like what goes well with White Claw instead of more is another substance too. Like they're really easy to kind of like.
One of my first songs, White Claw's cocaine. The whole gang stay up. Like
drugs just go well together. Like nothing goes with dopamine like dopamine. Like it's just
true.
like pound, pound, pound.
And then you cover like the different bases of dopamine.
Is there different bases of dopamine?
I mean, there maybe not like different dopamine for every drug, but it's like maybe they, it's like music wavelengths.
Yeah.
You have your kick and your snare and your bass and your synthesizer.
What would be the kick and the snare? I mean, nicotine would almost be the hi-hat because it comes in all the time. It's like
yeah, definitely.
It's like
nicotine's
hits.
Like the shaker in the rhythm section.
And the kick is like kratom or like an opiate, just like every couple hours, like boom. Alcohol is middle because if you don't drink for like an hour, I already start feeling like shit.
Alcohol might be like the lead synth.
Or the lead singer for some people's lives, where they're just like, it's the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, being around, like, when I was at Arkamoto, like, a bunch of people in a work environment, like, people drink a lot. Like, once you kind of, and I've never really cared for drinking that much.
Really?
No, like, after work, like, partying, but it's just crazy seeing how much some people, like, really, really like drinking. It is beer. Like, wine's at least funner than beer. Beer's like, hey, do you want a bad taste in your mouth?
I like beer. Beer, there are a lot of good flavors in beer.
Cider, maybe, not beer. Beer's for bitches.
I think the majority of drinkers would disagree with you.
So what was like the wake up call? Were you like making music all night drunk and then you listen to it in the morning and you're like, that sounds like shit. I should stop drinking or what?
No, I mean at a certain point you just sit back and realize like, oh, I've been hungover for like a year straight. That's not normal.
I'm kind of there right now, but with kratom.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's no specific event I can speak to. There was just a point where it was like, hang on. It's like the frog in the boiling water. You look around and you're like, what are all these bubbles going on?
And now you're yoked. I saw you at the summer. It was like you were slinging dirt balls on like a Sunday, like 2 streets away. And I'm like, you're fucking yoked. And now you can deadlift 300 pounds?
I'm getting there. 345.
It's nuts.
I wouldn't consider myself yoked yet. I'm like kind of buff.
He's yoked, folks. For audio-only listeners, he's yoked. But I mean, wait, do you do... the reason I wanted you to go to this, the DAC... which you'll just come in a couple Fridays. I want to do a sauna competition with you and a Stairmaster competition. Do you ever Stairmaster or not really?
I do rowing machine and exercise bike.
For cardio?
Yeah. And then also jiu-jitsu is cardio.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious because...
I could probably beat you on the Stairmaster.
How long do you think you could go?
A long time.
All right, let's do it. Let's do a Stairmaster as well. I started doing Stairmaster with a 35-pound weight a couple days ago, and I'm like, that's actually kind of tricky. Like
Farmer's carries on the Stairmaster?
Yeah, well, okay, like, my first Stairmaster, like, right when I got the gym membership, like, 3 minutes, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm fucking dying. And now I go 20 minutes. It's like, it's like pounding it out. It feels good. Sauna, I just got back from 25 minutes at 180 degrees. Sauna every day.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably out-sauna me, because you're practiced.
You'd be surprised. Caleb went... Another coworker of ours and friend, he didn't even start sweating, and he was up at 205, 210. He didn't even start sweating for 10 minutes. It was like crazy. So he kind of beat me the first time he ever went.
Is he from the desert or something?
I have no idea. Just some Irish-looking guy who just is good at withstanding heat, apparently.
Maybe he's from Arizona. He's used to it.
No, he's from Iowa. He's from a cold place. But like people in Denmark or Finland, that's like the whole sauna place.
That's where they do sauna the most.
That's where they sauna the most. I gotta admit, the switching the cameras is really, really fucky. I I need a co-host.
You need
but
to place your console better.
I know. Well, it's like one hand. I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. But anyways, you just put in your 2 weeks and you're switching over to another job.
Yeah.
You happy? You know, you're a month ago. We've been playing chess once a week now for like a month or two.
Yeah.
Like we've been crushing it and Baduk. But you were like, I'm almost done with Dirtball. You're like ready to throw it in. Were you still depressed up until then? Like, were you still depressed after you got off alcohol?
I mean, much less, but also, yes. Because, I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of people drink and use substances to just, like, escape from things they don't like in their lives. And I was, like, tolerating this really shitty job for a long time because the hours were really convenient for me to work on Dirtballs in the morning, then go to work in the afternoon. But it's just, like, eventually I was just kind of in denial about how much I hated it there just because of, like, the stability. Like, I had steady employment all through COVID.
That's nice.
Which was nice. A lot of people didn't have that.
If anything, unemployment's kind of nice. Like my dream job would be furloughed every year and a half.
Sometimes I wonder if I'm foolish for never taking advantage of unemployment.
You for sure. Well, you can't get fired for it, and you can't quit. You literally have to be like laid off or furloughed. That's like the only way to get it. Because like, so if you just go like sexually harass a coworker to get 6 months of like free pay, they're like, no, you can't get that. Like a guy.
Terrible way to game the system.
If you go sexually harass a male coworker, you still can't get it. Yeah, I'm rereading this book in the sauna because like I started to go crazy in the sauna because it's like 30 minutes every day of just sitting there trying to like, oh, I'm fucking boiling myself. So I started reading the books and it's like, what did 20 somethings or what did do in your 20 somethings? And the chapter I read in the sauna today was about like underemployment, how like a lot of people just get jobs in their 20s, like, oh, this would be that. And how it doesn't build, like, a lot of those jobs don't build, like, identity capital. Like, even kind of the work we're doing right now, it'd be in, like, an interesting talking piece. There are skills we're learning that could potentially, like, be useful at other jobs. So it's about, like, I don't know. It was interesting. It was weird to read as someone who's unemployed.
I mean, I do feel underemployed by normie standards most of the time. Because my life has been mostly, like, pretty unstructured, entrepreneurial for the past 3 or 4 or 5 years. And the only time I've had a regular work schedule, like 9 to 5 every day, was for like 3 months in 2014. I was working in a pen warehouse.
Like Bic? Like Bic?
No, it was a company called Jet Pens. Like, really shouts out to them. It's an amazing company run by wonderful people.
Good pens?
They have great fucking stationery.
Did you get to bring some home?
Pens,
like, do you have your own?
Stamps, notepads. They had whiteboard books. Like a notebook that's whiteboards, and it's kind of a stupid thing, but they had it. Do
you get a bunch? Like, I mean, we get to enjoy like perks of a job. Like, I asked the people at the dock, they get a free membership. I'm like, fuck, that's pretty nice. Sauna every day for free.
No, I mean, there was like an employee discount. That was pretty much the perk. And they had a great break room though.
You should get shit for free
Lots
at a
of
job.
amenities in the break room.
That's nice.
But the point is, terrible place for me to work. Because I don't know, it was just too structured. Like, I was just wheeling a cart around all day, picking pens out of boxes. And
you're a free spirit. You should
go
slinging dirt balls and rapping.
I need to make beats and sell snacks. And
what would be your dream job? I asked folks like after you left to go finish off your 2 weeks, and the joke one is a male porn star in a reverse gangbang only. And the second one would be
well, in order to get to that point, you have to do a lot of terrible shoots.
Got to slog through a bunch of dicks.
Yeah.
But that peak, and then I was like more real, like being a marketer for Apple would be like dope, and then obviously the like I don't dream of labor thing for people don't.
Oh,
but
dude,
what would yours be?
If I could do PR for SpaceX, that would be awesome.
That'd be pretty baller.
Just be like the press representative.
We're sending rockets up there. That's it. Like,
dude.
I don't even know what I'd talk about. If I was like marketing rockets, who do you market it to?
Well, no, PR. PR is different than marketing.
Is it? You're sharing like a brand. Like, well, okay, what's PR? Didn't you got a journalism degree? So I guess this is your whole. Okay, all right. I'll give it to you. I was probably wrong there.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of overlap between them, but I would say
backtracking already.
Maybe marketing is more product focused and PR is more customer focused. But they're similar lines of work. And in a lot of companies, the same team does the PR and the marketing. But
so why would you want to do PR for space? Like, what would you do? Well, like, you just tell stories?
You can explain it to marketing. But I mean, PR would be like, I'm out there and there's like the rockets in the background. It's like, or like I would be on the live streams talking with like the Marquez Brownlees of the world.
I could see you in that role.
Yeah, dude.
You should probably know a little bit about rocket science.
Bro,
you imagine going into that role knowing
you light
nothing.
them and they go up. What else do you need to know?
Going into like a role like that, knowing literally zero about rockets, but just being like, well, I'm a good PR agent. I'm sure I'll figure it out on the spot. And people are asking like these questions, and you're like, I don't know. There's smart people to deal with that.
Or maybe, I think it might be a little cooler to do PR for Neuralink.
Or weird, because they're like killing monkeys and shit. And like, you know.
Well, that's what, exactly, because there's more challenge.
The monkeys deserved it. You're just dissing on them like, well, we only picked like Nazi Hitler monkeys.
Yeah, we had monkeys in a room. We put out a picture of Hitler, Gandhi, and Santa Claus, and all the monkeys that went to Hitler first. Those got the brain implant.
They got early stage like alpha testing Neuralinks, and then but we killed them all. They're monkeys.
Exactly, but I don't really see that in the cards. Me working for SpaceX.
What's a realistic goal then? I guess.
Like the manager of a Airbnb resort out in the woods, where I have my own cabin with like a ballin' ass studio set up in it, and I just like go out and chit chat with the customers, make sure they've got the chocolate mints on their pillows and all that shit.
A new model staying there every night.
Exactly.
A women only Airbnb.
Well, we'd have like the influencer suites at the resort.
Nice. We
could get all the like TikTok dancers and and the fitness models. There's gonna be a great gym at my resort too.
I like it. You're already talking there's gonna be.
Yeah. Not
even owner, though. No, you didn't even go owner. You went manager. I want to deal with all the day-to-day intricacies of booking and shit. I'm like, what?
I said manager,
Mike.
but I said manager, but I meant owner.
Oh, okay, there we go.
I mean, and like, I want to be involved with the process. I'm not going to be doing the bookkeeping or anything.
Yeah, I would hate to do booking and like finding guests and funny enough, like market, like, I don't know, like the intricacies of jobs like that just seem like they'd take all the fun out of it, you know? Mm-hmm. But you just be essentially out in the woods making music.
Yeah. Well, and then also like making sure that people have a good time, answering their questions, showing them like, here's the good hikes. Don't go on this hike if you don't like hard stuff.
Hard stuff.
No, there's difficult hikes.
Go on this hike if you like hard stuff. To only the males who go there. I like it. When we were playing Go or chess last time, I guess because you were talking about like you've been that kind of employed for like 5 years, or like entrepreneurial for 5 years, you said, and I was like, what part of your life are you most nostalgic about? Because I was thinking like, I don't know why, I was just being nostalgic for a minute. And you said like right when you came to Eugene. Why'd you leave California?
Well, I was getting pretty tired of living in San Jose. It's a big city. And I was leaving college. I didn't really have any job prospects in the Bay Area.
You don't seem like a big city Bay Area kind of guy.
That's what I've learned since moving to Eugene. I grew up in Santa Rosa, which is a little bit bigger than Eugene, I think. But still the same like pace of life.
Yeah. But just way more expensive.
Oh, yeah. Wine country up there, all the yuppies. And then half the city burnt down.
So you came from it. You came from wine. It only makes sense that you enjoyed it kind of thing?
I guess. I mean, my parents drank wine before we lived in California.
You're like Bane, but instead of darkness, wine.
I was born in the wine.
I was born in a cellar.
I was born in the wine barrel.
Yeah, and I'll die in it.
Exactly.
You were molded by it.
No, but Eugene's way better. It's a lot closer to nature. And really, it was pretty arbitrary why I even came to Eugene. It was...
How would you pick it? That's why I always think about like exchange students who are like at Corvallis or Eugene. I'm like, why here? Why not New York or LA or Miami or XYZ?
I literally don't know. I just got it in my head that like Oregon was going to be the place for me. And it was pretty much either Eugene or Portland.
Yeah.
And Portland, again, big city.
Yeah.
Not the biggest city, but more city than I want to live in.
But I don't like tiny city like Philomath or like Roseburg, like these smaller cities. Like I like kind of a city, you know, like I'm in the Whitaker. Like this is the most city I've ever lived in. Corvallis was like that sweet spot. Corvallis is the perfect size city. But so you pretty much came here, hit on like multiple women at once until one of them worked out. I don't know if you can talk about that.
Well, I mean, yes, more or less. I mean, I think they all understood what was happening. There's nothing.
They drew straws.
Maybe. Like, all right, who wants to take this one? No, but we were homies, you know, and it's like, it's summer, you're young and sexy, you get flirtatious sometimes. You're swimming in the river.
Someone's got to date the dirtball dealer.
Exactly. Who's this fucking dirtball weirdo we just met?
But then you met someone pretty recently. So did the person whose shirt I'm wearing. He's going to be the next guest of the show.
Yeah, I didn't meet her recently.
Be who you need. Oh.
Yeah, we've been dating for like a year.
You just said you started dating like 6 months ago.
Well, no, I said she's my girlfriend now. She hit me with the "What are we?" like a week ago.
Oh.
And I was like already in like relationship mode in my head, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's that weird stage where you're like, you're dating and you're both like, yeah, I really want to date this person, but neither of you is like really saying it.
Yeah.
And then the tension builds. And the tension
How'd you
is
answer?
good.
Were you like, yeah, we're boyfriend, girlfriend? Or you were like, yeah, we're running steady? Or like, hey, yeah,
I was like,
we're monogamous,
bitch, I love
exclusive. Wow.
That's what, like, that's the summary of it.
Call her a bitch right off the bat. my Kenzie's still in the other room. The producer, slacking. We had a long day at work. We're tired.
Yeah, it's true.
We're
still
tuckered out.
grinding, though.
Yeah.
You know why?
We're still grinding. Let it be known. Oh.
No, but yeah, it's dope. I haven't had an actual girlfriend since the girl who I moved here with.
Lots of boyfriends in between, but now you're going steady again. A year with one girl. Do you like are you like one of the serial monogamy people, or are you like kind of like just, you know, fuck around, date? Like, you seem like a free spirit in the sense that I guess you haven't moved in 5 years. You seem like a roaming spirit of a body.
I mean, I am in a lot of ways. More mentally roaming than anything else, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do think I'm more monogamous than polyamorous or anything.
Oh, yeah.
But like, before you're in a relationship, I feel like everyone's polyamorous until you're in a monogamous relationship to a certain extent.
I didn't realize how big of a thing that was. And like, Kenzie and I hadn't dated anyone for like 6 months prior to meeting each other. But like, some friends that I know were like dating people while they were kind of dating, and like until they like had the conversation you had with a partner recently. Like, they were still dating people like the whole like 6 months, 3 months. I was like, that's crazy that people do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's just dating around, playing the field.
Pascal's wager.
Casting your fishing rod
Yeah.
out in the ocean, seeing who bites.
Makes sense.
Maybe you're a net trawler.
God, I
Dragging a
don't
fishing
want to
net.
see you net trawlers. Just going to strip clubs Monday night at like 9 p.m. and just taking home any women whose shift ends. That's a net crawler.
I don't know, man. Maybe.
We just watched
I
Wedding
don't know
Crashers.
much about strip clubs.
I've never seen Wedding Crashers, so it'd actually be going to the funeral like Will Ferrell does, just like picking up on chicks who are like mourning. Good movie. I don't know how I hadn't seen it
I always
before.
wonder if people actually do that. I mean, there's got to be a couple people who do those kind of things. Or like Barney, what's his face, in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I'd like to wedding crash. Kenzie and I want to go. Do you want to go? You and your partner,
Yeah,
all four
I'm
of us
down.
could go wedding crash.
I look great in a suit.
You look good in anything. You get all your stuff from the clothes exchange.
Yeah, but I love wearing suits, especially back in journalism school. I was like so into the suits.
I like it.
You should play my journalism sizzle reel at the end of the video.
What's a sizzle reel?
Oh, it's like a highlight reel.
Oh, nice.
But in show business, they call it a sizzle reel.
Makes sense. You're just interviewing people for a couple seconds, like.
No, just like clips of me on camera. It's like reading headline, me at the desk.
I'd like to see that.
Sorry, there's a problem with that story. We'll have more for you later.
You'd send that to me. I'd like to see it. And
It's
maybe
on
play it.
YouTube.
Nice. It's funny. Like, we met randomly at Rain Building, which I'm now kind of at or working at again.
The Entrepreneurial Networking Center of Eugene.
Yeah. It's so vague in Eugene. It'd be cool if like Eugene was like a startup hub. Like, it'd be cool if like it was like, hopefully the prices didn't affect it. But it's like when you were in Rain, weren't a lot of the ideas you heard kind of just like, what? Or like, I don't know, like, and how could everyone have a big idea? But there was no like really big fish or like big ideas where it's like a cool tech idea that's like infinitely scalable. Like, a lot of ideas were like, maybe I don't want to call anyone out.
Well, I mean, there were some of like the biotech projects that they're working on. Like biotech, I don't understand any of it. Yeah. But when you have a good biotech company, you're gonna make stupid money. But
it also takes stupid money, and like not Eugene. Well, maybe I don't know.
I mean, they probably have good facilities over at the university. I don't know what that guy would need, but
I had a friend recently who, because I'm in like just a random, I don't know how I got in the group chat of people who are like actually at biotech companies. And he was like, hey, could you ask them if anyone knows about synthesizing ketamine from an insect? Like, they're trying to like change the gene of an insect to be close to ketamine. So like they could change like the blood of it or something. I'm like, yeah, maybe, man.
Just turn my blood into ketamine.
Nightmare fuel. But I guess the one good idea, like someone was like, hey, why the fuck do you have to fill up, like buy a whole new like laundry detergent every time? You should just be able to go fill it up. Like there were cool ideas, that are kind of small.
Yeah.
But like ideas like that, why wouldn't someone like Google just do it? Not Google, obviously.
Well, I mean, having come from the Bay Area, I feel like Bay Area tech culture has really infected everyone's minds.
That might be it.
Because it's just like, there's like a template of what a startup idea should be. It's like, hey, what if we innovated laundry detergent?
Yeah.
Which, like, it would be good and it would reduce waste. But also, it's like, I feel like people would have done that already if it was a better business model on a certain level.
Yeah.
Because people used to do those things. People used to bring milk to your house in reusable bottles, and you would give them the empties and they would take it back. And then everyone decided that plastic gallons from the supermarket are better than that.
Yeah.
And I think a similar process probably happened with laundry detergent. It's only the hippies and the hipsters,
Some sort of regression might be good. It seems like people are a lot happier. People are eating healthier food. People are more stable, less plastic going into the environment. Like some sort of regression to whatever we were doing right, like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago. Like maybe there are some stuff like, hey, why don't we bring that back? Like maybe there'll be an innovator. Like what if there's a disco club in Eugene? That would do well. Why is there no disco club? Like all the like clubs and bars and shit play this like kind of weird music way too loud and they're kind of grungy. Like what if there's like nice, clean bar? Like I think there's a lot of stuff previously that could come back.
Well, a lot of the venues in Eugene, from what I've seen, are just kind of mid. They're not necessarily bad, but it's just like no one's really. I would say the biggest innovators in the music scene of Eugene are, as far as venues, is the Big Dirty, where I will be playing on January 28th.
Cool.
Tickets $13 at the door, $5 pre-sale. I don't know when this is ever going to drop, but
tomorrow or something.
Drop it in February.
I saw a burlesque show at the Big Dirty. It was interesting.
The Big Dirty's dope, and because they actually like tried to create an experience, and what you're talking about with the disco club, that's an experience. Yeah. I think you're right that it would take off. It would do a lot better than fucking Drake's or the goddamn Duck
Drake's
Pub or whatever.
They're all the same, is what I'm getting at. Like they all feel the same.
Drake's and the Horsehead. I'm pretty sure they even share a wall, and they're like the exact same type of place.
That's funny. What I don't get about them is like, just they don't do anything fun. Like with our, I guess you weren't there. We were considering like just making them funner. And there's like this thing called Luster Dust, which is those bottles that you get at like Country Fair where it looks like that's funny.
Luster Dust.
Luster Dust. Oh, I should get it. I'll show you at the end of the show. It's like to
make stuff.
It's like an edible glitter. So if you put it in water, it like spins around. And it like looks really cool.
Yeah.
But everyone's just like. They're like, hey, let's pop music way too... Like, that's my whole thing. So when you do a show there, do you get to pick the volume? Or are you just like, the producers, whoever, like, pick it all? Because I would be like, go up there and be like, hey, can we make it like a moderate level? Or like, I mean, do you have good or bad hearing? If you do like live performance, do you wear earplugs?
I have never worn earplugs for a performance, I don't think.
See, that's why I think music's too loud, is all the performers and all the people listening to loud performance just have like bad ears. So then they need it loud to like accommodate for that. Where I'm like,
maybe. I still have pretty good hearing. Like that's something that comes up with whenever I visit my family, they'll be like talking about me in the next room over. Like I remember my mom was looking at my pecan pie one Thanksgiving. She was like, oh, it looks overcooked. I was like, what looks overcooked?
You with your weird flexes. I have really good hearing. Another day, like probably 3 weeks.
Good dental health.
3 weeks ago, I have shockingly good dental. Out of nowhere.
I'm sure it was in context of the conversation.
No context. No, but it's been fun playing Go and chess. And we had another friend, and we did an entire like really complicated puzzle. Not to brag or anything.
It was hard, though.
It was a hard, weird
There's not even
puzzle.
like a picture puzzle on it.
But it was just wood grain. It was even hard to see. But what's so fun about like Go and chess with a person in real life? Because you play them online. I don't know how you do it, like on your phone. Well, you take historically 50-minute shits so you can play Go games. Like, but my whole thing is I'm like, a
9x9 game takes like 5 minutes tops.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't play 19x19s on the toilet.
They take a long time.
Yeah.
But if you only had one, you'd pick chess over Go?
Yeah, I think so.
I
mean, just because I'm more familiar with it, and I have such a long history with chess.
We like what we're good at. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah.
Like in life, and like the last while, it's like I just tend to not want to do stuff that I'm kind of like decent at.
Lucky for me, I'm good at a lot of things.
You surprisingly are. I had another friend who, funny enough, lives in the Bay Area. He works down there. Like Steve, one of the earliest guests, he came up here, and I'm like, oh, let's play chess. And he crushes me. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, yeah, I was in chess club. And you were in chess club. I'm like, what the fuck is it with everyone being so good at chess?
I was even, like, I almost got a job teaching chess as, like, an after-school program. But I think that I don't know why I didn't get hired in the end. I think my chess skills weren't quite where the guy in charge wanted them to be.
You're 1550. They're looking for a 60. Wait, what is your actual score? 1300, you said?
Like, I think as of today, it's like 1022 for rapid.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do rapid because I want to score.
I would guess you're around a 600 or 700.
Just like 2 days ago, you're like, oh, we're almost equal level.
I didn't say that. I said you were a couple hundred below me.
He's lying. He's changing history. Let's play right now. The last game we played was actually a really good game. It was a massive comeback.
Yeah.
And then come back on the other side. So I was like, I don't know. I throw some blows here, guys. He's not sitting here crushing me. What did surprise me is you just started crushing me at Go. Like I beat you the first couple days, like first day, and then you like just went and like nerded out on it for like an hour. And because I haven't looked up any like strategy for Go, for some reason it really ruins the game for me to like get too good at it too fast. Like will always be my biggest regret is like getting too good at StarCraft and not just enjoying like the being shitty at a game. So thanks for at least letting me like, I don't know. It's cool to find someone who doesn't matter. Like you don't care if you win every game at chess.
Oh yeah, I'm in it for the love of the game. Totally.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I don't know if it's possible to really get tired of these games. Because theoretically, you could learn every opening for the first 4 or 5 moves. But then every single opening has hundreds of variations that you learn. And top-level chess players know, like, every single game. And they're still learning more. And now that there's AI in the chess world, the AI is opening up even more variations that humans would have never thought of.
It's insane to think that the game's existed for that long, and there's literally openings that people haven't thought of.
I don't think there's openings people haven't thought of, but AI will see opportunities and strategies that humans won't see because they're able to look so far into the future. And they'll make completely unexpected moves that baffle humans. And some people think that the AIs are replacing us, but they're making us better. AI has made the best chess players better.
Yeah.
Because it's opening up new possibilities. And I think that's going to happen with everything.
Are you getting big into ChatGPT or don't really care?
I haven't tried it yet. But I've had an app that I want to build for a long time, and I think that this might be the time to try to make it happen with good old ChatGPT.
Are you bringing back ThinkBot? Remember, like, there was like an all-white page like 10 or 15 years ago, and it was like had a thought bubble, and you could it was almost like ChatGPT. It was like having a conversation with something. ThinkBot.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, but what's the app idea?
It's called the Snack Tracker. It's just like it's like an app where you can be in the grocery store and you're like, I don't know how good this is going to be for me, and then you scan the barcode. And then there will be categories of ingredients, basically red, green, yellow. And there's red ingredients that are like, I would consider canola oil to be a red ingredient.
Seed oils are bad for you.
And so it would definitely be influenced by my bias. But my bias is influenced by a lot of nutritional research that I've done.
Yeah.
I just have no idea how to find the best nutritional databases and how to ping them. I think you would use SQL for that. That's what the nerds have told me.
As a person in nutrition, what do you think of salt? I don't know if we've had this conversation.
Salt is necessary for life.
But like, do you think like people should be eating more? And I have a massive bias here. Like you're like arguing against someone who's like gonna brick wall if you go against me.
Are you
think
pro
we should
salt?
I'm like so pro salt. You should have like you should be having like tablespoons of salt per day.
I mean, I think there is a recommended amount.
Which is way too low.
Yeah, I don't really know how they reach that. And I think the problem with nutrition is it's really dependent on what you do.
Not
like
salt.
My nutritional needs, even salt, electrolytes. I sweat a lot more than a lot of people, so I need to replenish my electrolytes more. So I probably could do with more salt in my diet. But a lot of people naturally retain a lot of water, and if they get excess sodium, they have problems. It's different.
No, it's not even close. I've been sauning every day. Like you have no, like sometimes I'll lose like 1.5 pounds of like body sweat, because I'll go for a whole hour, 25 minutes,
and
shower,
then you replace
25
your
minutes.
Electrolytes.
So I don't even have to take salt sometimes. Like I've had times where I haven't sweat at all, and I've taken a ton of. I've just been lazy about eating salt. Who wants to like mix up the water and be like, salt and drink it? Nobody. So sometimes I get lazy with it. I'm a human being.
Fair.
But as a general being, you don't lose your most salt through sweat. You piss it out.
Interesting.
Changes things, right?
And I pee a lot because I drink a lot of water.
And your body's extremely good at passing salt. But it can't create salt out of nothing. So like the daily recommended amount's like 2.7 grams, 2,700 milligrams. And that level has a higher risk of all-cause mortality and cardiovascular events than 14 grams. So like pretty much like 6 times the amount. Has a lower risk. Like, because your body can just pass it through so easily.
So having more salt has less risk?
Yes.
I do
almost indefinitely. Pretty much the goal number is like 3.5 grams to 4. And if you go, so like the chart goes like way like that. So like if you have not enough, it like spikes up. Your all-cause mortality and cardiovascular event spikes up. And then if you have too much, it slowly slams
so like
up.
the risk of having not enough is higher than the risk of having too much.
Yeah, it like immediately spikes up. And the RDA is below that like little sweet spot.
That's in line with what I said before. Salt is necessary for life.
Yeah.
Like you need a fair amount of salt.
You can't play both sides on this, friendo. You pick the wrong.
I've become much more pragmatic. Like I don't really pick a side on anything. It's kind of a disability where like I see the truth and legitimacy in everything people say, even when they're like completely opposites.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Make a lot of friends that way.
I actually have less friends than ever, but like better friends than ever. You know,
it's like that
Drake song. I've been losing friends and finding peace. Honestly, that sounds like a fair trade to me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Shouts out to Drizzy.
Shouts out to Drizzy. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess like the more friends, I don't know. I've never had like a absurdly amount of people that I talk to, but like over the years I've like collected people who I talk to once or twice. For a while, we only talked like once a year, twice a year, you know? And those are the best friends for me because I'm like, they're like, so like you can set them on the back burner and then out of the blue, it's like, hey, let's work together now.
Oh, definitely. That shouts out to Augie Rose. Shouts out to Quinn Dang, the homies.
Who's Augie Rose?
He's someone you've never met. I met him in Eugene. He's the guy who really helped me become a good musician. Because like I told you earlier, I'd been making music since I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
But most of it was garbage. And I was making slow and steady progress. But then I started hanging out with Augie, and he just taught me so much sauce. Like, just skyrocketed my abilities as a musician.
Like what, like editing or like actually like rapping?
Just the sauce, man.
What's the sauce?
It's hard.
You just put the sound goodizer on it? On
Pretty
everything?
much. No, but there's just like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, man. If you have the sauce, you have it. And if you don't, you don't. And it's like Gucci Mane said, you can't be born with sauce. You have to acquire
But it's all about taste is what I really realize. Like,
well, yeah, not everyone likes my music.
Yeah, no, and not even...
My sauce is like sweet Worcestershire.
So is your target audience you? Do you just make like? Do you listen to your music like a lot?
A fair amount. I have some of my songs on my own playlists. It's really hit or miss listening to my own music. I either am ecstatic about how talented I am, or I think I'm the worst piece of trash to ever pick up a microphone.
Yeah,
and there's no in between.
So you just gave me and a friend a ride ago. You should just like put your music on the whole time, just like you have like hostages and just play. I've been thinking when I play Call of Duty.
I have a bunch of beats on my phone.
You should. I've been thinking of when I play Call of Duty, have a mic set up and just have my podcast playing the whole time. So anyone who doesn't mute me, just like
into the other people.
Yeah, it's just it's free marketing. Or just like you could do it with your music though. Like anytime you play an online video game, just have like your music, your podcast, or something going.
Should I start Twitch streaming?
What would you Twitch stream? Wait, what do you game? You play
Skyrim
online.
I play Elder Scrolls Online.
You play both?
Yeah.
You don't get sick of them? How many hours do you have in Skyrim?
The Elder Scrolls universe is so fucking cool.
Is it?
These creators, I almost called them nerds, and a lot of them are nerds, but some people take that as a derogatory thing. I don't necessarily mean it that way, because these fucking nerds have created such a rich, deep mythology to this world, and they've taken it from like before the dawn of mankind, and like there's a whole new deities, new systems of science and physics and all this shit.
If you could explain cool. Like one cool part of it, like that came together where you're like, wow, I gained a lot of respect for them.
In the first era, sorry, I keep leaning away.
You're good.
I'm not the best Elder Scrolls historian, but in the first era, the Nords came over from the frozen land up to the north and came into Cyrodiil, and there were some fucking snake people from Akavir, and they had to have a battle, and I've probably just made any nerds listening to this mad, but that's a tough question.
Who won, the snake people?
They were eventually driven back to Akavir, yeah. by, I think, Uriel Septim.
Wow.
One of the Septims. Maybe it was Tiber Septim.
It's a lot of hard to remember names. That's what I, funny enough, like hate about the new Call of Duty. Not to rail on it the whole time, but all the map names are like way too much. Whereas like the old ones are like Rust, Terminal, Zoo, and even like the recent like Black Ops. Like the naming of stuff should be so easy.
It's like Industrial Warpath or something now.
It's worse. It's like St. Petrograd Crossing or like just like multi-word, really confused. Like I would be even more into like, and same with Elden Ring, like lore. If it was just like easy, cool name, like whoever picks the naming for a lot of these things should just go simple. But Kenzie
Simple is good.
Simple is good. Kenzie and I are trying to come up with a name for our marketing company, and like, how do you find a name that like, because how good we market our like marketing company reflects on our marketing skills. So there's like that extra added pressure to it.
Definitely.
And we have no idea what to name it. You know.
Well, we should sit down. I'm good at coming up with names for stuff.
Dope. That'd be good. I'm thinking like a one word that's like vaguely positive, even if it's not a word, but it has to be easy to spell. We'll get into it. We'll get into it after that. Maybe when we play chess,
Yeah.
we'll.
I mean, the first thing to come to mind would be like Tyken, Tyken.
Tyken.
Yeah.
Surprisingly good, actually.
Yeah.
And then the domain name also has to be open. Tyken, it definitely would.
It's possible. It's such a gamble with domain names.
What if I just went Dirtball Marketing?
I mean, I'd sue you.
How can you
I'd
sue
lawyer
me?
up, Doug.
Would you?
Yeah.
Do you have a copyright on Dirt? Okay, I was like, holy shit. Do you have an LLC yet though? Like, do you have like? Was that?
I haven't trademarked it yet because that's expensive to get a lawyer to do that. And I've done a lot of things on my own. Like I did the business filing on my own. I don't necessarily know if I did that right.
It's hilarious.
And having a trademark for some reason feels a little higher level than that.
Maybe I'll come up with a company and it's like a food and I'll call it Dorodangos. Like, remember, like Dorodangos, like those like shiny dirt balls. You haven't seen them?
No. Dorodangos?
I want to pull it up. I'll pull it. I don't know how to remember. Yeah.
Hey, Kenzie, can you pull it
It's
up?
worth. It's worth. Kenzie, pull it.
We need our producer.
Dango. Oh yeah, dude. Like I'd make them when I was kids. They were like super fun. If you just look that up. So those are if you take like clumps of dirt and you like get them in a really good spear and then you add like soft dust to it.
Oh, like actual dirt.
Yeah, and then you sift dirt so it's only like the finest grains like through different microns, and then as you're going you just put like finer and finer on top until you get a perfect sphere, and it literally looks like a marble ball, but it's just a dirt ball.
It's Japanese for mud dumpling.
Yeah.
I like that.
You should make one. That should be like the your mascot is. I mean, doesn't that look pretty cool? It looks like an actual.
They're aesthetically pleasing. I bet they were selling some of those at the Crystal Fair I went to.
That would be hilarious. Oh yeah, it's this crazy kind of. It's just a dirt ball. They're hard too. Like you could drop it from like this high, and it wouldn't break.
There were definitely some of those at the Crystal Fair. They would probably call them like Dora White or something.
Oh, that's funny.
Some made up fake name. I learned, man, there's so much scumbaggery in the crystal world. There's like types of citrine that are actually heat treated amethyst and shit like that. People are making fake Gucci's,
Devious.
fake crystals, fake everything.
Wait,
man.
so
fake
citrine
acids. You can't
citrine's
have
really
anything
cheap?
real anymore.
Citrine's really cheap and amethyst is really expensive, so they heat treat it and it turns purple.
That's what I don't understand, because I thought amethyst was just overall more valuable than citrine.
Because of your Skyrim stealing stealth from pockets, people, or what?
No, because I've been in the crystal game for a long time, man.
But there is amethyst in Skyrim, right? Like that is.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna be like, come on.
I think they're worth 100 gold pieces.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick.
But then for some reason, once you take them to the store, they undercut you and you only get like 60.
So why do you even say the value if that's not the value?
Yeah. Todd Howard. What the fuck is up?
Got a personal vendetta. The whole thing about games
I fuck with Todd Howard.
Games like that, like once you get like I used to love RuneScape because I loved the grind, but then it's like once you could like buy money or like you get too much, games become so much less fun. Like same with like Elden Ring. Like it was really fun when it was hard, but then after I beat it and I went through the second playthrough and like I like one shot every boss, I'm like it's not fun. Like it's interesting how not having. It's same with GTA. So we just finished and now every character is like 27 mil, but prior to that, like you couldn't even get every upgrade for a car. Video games really are funny kind of because of scarcity.
Oh, yeah. So much goes into the mechanics of, like, even with Skyrim, for example, like, how often you find a piece of amethyst in a chest.
Yeah.
Probably took months to get that right, if not years to get that dialed in.
Yeah.
It's wild. And I've done some, like, super basic game design. I did, like, a game design summer camp when I was little. It's complicated.
Yeah.
Like
I couldn't do it.
It takes, and there's, like, hundreds of people working on these games, putting years into them.
That's great. That's the crazy thing about Mark. The founder of Arcimoto, is that he made Tribes, and then Tribes 2, which won Game of the Year over StarCraft.
Tribes.
Yeah, it was like a massive multiplayer online first-person shooter that was like one of the first of its kind, allowed for so many people.
Huh.
And now he's making another. He has like a Marble It Up, which is on phones and Switch and stuff. So it's crazy to know, like, just people. I don't know how people.
Which I don't
games.
get that, like a marble shooter game.
Yeah, it's not a shooter. It's just like you roll it kind of thing.
Like Super Monkey Ball.
Yes, I want to say. I don't know that much about Marble lore and different video game options there. But back to the beginning of the show. We're like probably like 50 minutes in. I don't exactly know how long it's been, but I do want to get to chess. You were a depressed alcoholic, and now you're like literally deadlifting like 345.
Well, I was deadlifting a lot amongst the alcoholism.
Really?
Yeah. Sheer force of will.
You like woke up hungover. You're like, but I'll still do the good thing. Or were you like counterbalancing? And you're like, oh, I'll do the good thing so I can drink.
Oh, there's a lot of like cope of just trying to have healthy habits to counterbalance bad habits.
Yeah.
Like the idea of taking milk thistle every day as a liver support supplement while I'm binge drinking every night.
That's hilarious. And you're on ashwagandha for a while too. You still fuck with that?
A little bit sometimes. Supplements are expensive and not necessary to stay alive, so I don't always splurge on them.
I get fucking sick of eating a bunch of pills. Like once you go buy like, oh, I'll buy vitamin D and like all these things, and you like every lunch you have like a handful of like 10 pills. And I'm like, I don't like that.
That's why I like the greens powders. I don't have the one that's advertised on every podcast, but I use a similar
like a spirulina and stuff.
Yeah, spirulina in it. They always have buckwheat and fucking all kinds of other stuff in them.
I kind of liked them
grass.
until I realized they had lead in them. Like anything that comes from the ocean has lead. Like seaweed at Costco got pulled for a while. I got addicted to it. And then it wasn't at Costco for a while. And it's because
lead?
Yeah, they needed to advertise that as a cancer risk because it has so much lead in it, because pretty much everything in the ocean has lead. Even the water we drink has lead. Like there's a minimum or maximum viable amount of lead in water, and you drink so much more of it per weight than like kratom has lead in it and arsenic. Like there's like a third-party testing for like phenibut and kratom and all this stuff, and there's literally lead, arsenic, and cyanide in just these microscopic levels. I need to figure out which ones build up in the body and take less of those is probably the real concern.
That's one of the crazy things I've learned from working in the food industry is like there's an acceptable amount of cow pus in milk.
Cow pus?
Cow pus. Yeah.
Ooh.
There's like an acceptable parts per million.
I would even take cow blood over cow pus.
Or
cow
above.
piss. I'd take cow piss over cow pus.
You're getting it all.
That's
A couple micrograms per gallon, I think.
Because I've seen one of those videos where they have a bowl with they pop it and just like so much gushes out. I'm like, oh, they're kind of bovine, weird little funky animals.
Yeah, they're not living well in these
but
farms.
who is? Let's be honest. No, I'm kidding.
Us. We live in. I'm feeling so good since I stopped drinking. Like just better and better every day.
It's awesome. And it's been how long? Like 3 months?
Yeah, a little over 3 months now. Maybe like 109 days.
Nice. I know way too much about you personally to know. I guess 3 months. I don't know him that well. What I'm actually currently the most addicted to probably is sugar. I've gotten in this horrible habit of like, so this is ribose tea in here, and I bought turbinado sugar.
That's the good stuff. The good crystals.
Stuff. It is, especially in tea, because I don't mix it in, so I drink it at the bottom, and it I crunch the crystals in my mouth, and I think there's like 800 grams of sugar in the whole bag, and I'll go through it in like a week, and I'm like, fuck, that's not.
I mean,
good.
that makes sense.
100 grams of sugar a day.
Well, just like the sugar addiction in general.
Yeah.
Because like in the 2 months after I stopped drinking, I started eating so many gummy candies.
Gummy candies are addicting.
Dude, the sour gummies. I still can't find any goddamn sour jelly beans in this fucking podunk
I'll get one from
I don't know
Trader
what
Joe's.
is going...
He has a vendetta against Trader Joe's.
I
so
don't like Trader Joe's. There's too much packaging on everything.
Yeah, there's too much packaging. It's pretty fucked up. I'm thinking about it right now. Gummy candies are addicting. Maybe I'll just like start taking my like vitamin... like if I have like vitamin B12 complex, I'm going to crush it up and make gummies out of it because we know how to make gummies. Like,
this is true.
I wonder how bad it tastes, or if you like added enough sweetener and ascorbic acid on the outside. I wonder if you can make your own gummy vitamins just for yourself, not to sell to other people.
For sure. You can get little molds easily.
For $4,000 for 20 of them.
Yeah, just go over to Cash and Carry, get a bunch of bulk gelatin.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's make gummy vitamins sometime. And then you like the scene of Charlie, and It's Always Sunny. You like, and I take them and I mash them together, and I have these little energy balls. But actually, though, that'd be kind of nice. Maybe I could just like mix all of them together, make them in a vat. It might just taste so horrible, and then maybe I'll do it with one of each pill first. Because if it tastes horrible, dude, that would fucking suck. I guess each gummy would be I'd eat multiple gummies. I'm actually getting into this. This is a good idea.
You just have like 7 gummies you have to take. Aren't we back to the problem of like having a bunch of pills now?
Eating 7 gummy candies is not a problem. That's a solution. That's like, oh no, at the end of a meal I get to eat 7 delicious gummy candies. That's
true,
like
if they're sweetened and flavored. For
sure, sweetened and flavored. I'm making them. I just doubled my daily allotment of turbinado sugar. Surrounded with. My like app idea is also it's a tracker of sorts, but it's a habit tracker. I've been tracking like my kratom intake, how much I've saunted, how much I've read, meditated, slept, screen time, worked, everything except video game time. It's really hard to track. It's really hard to track for some reason. I'll eventually get it, but I want to like get all that. No habit tracker is good like on the market today. I don't know if you've ever tried any.
I guess one a while ago. Is that Fabulous app?
That's like one of the most famous ones. Yeah. How was it? I haven't even tried that one.
It was nice. I mean, for like 3 weeks, it was nice because you get little reminders. It's like, hey, wake up, drink water, do your journal, stretch. Then in the evening, it's like, tidy up, read, go to bed.
See, I wouldn't do that. I don't know if I'd have any reminders except for once a day it says track today's habits. And the goal of it would be to have really good like judging analytics of like, okay, like how much I've slept versus my happiness, or how much kratom I've taken versus, how like just seeing 2 analytics compared to each other on a graph would be cool. Haven't found that any. And also I'd want skill trees. Like, okay, like soning is an ability. And then like once you hit 1,000 hours, you're level 20 and it's like +3 resistance to heat or something. Like just a pretend like skill tree and stuff would be really fun.
I'm like 90% sure I've seen an RPG themed habit tracking app that gives you XP points.
If you can find the name of it, because I want to make it just because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's a good. Maybe that was like that. I might be thinking of the Startup Weekend people, because there was somebody who had a Startup Weekend idea where it was like specifically for jogging. You like get experience points and unlock side quests for how long you've run.
Yeah. The only thing that ever almost got me into running is there is funny enough an app, and it takes it, and any amount that you go, the inside of that is now your territory, kind of like Go. So all your friends, like as they go around different parts of the city, you capture more territory. I'm like, and whoever gets like the most territory wins. I'm like, that might get me interested enough to actually, and I just do it for walks. Fuck running. Fuck running. But let's get it. Me, you, Kenzie, and a couple people. That'd be fun to actually get. And then you probably
the RPG thing.
No, the Go version of running.
The running, yeah.
Because the other interesting part is you wouldn't do the same walks every day. You'd probably do a different walk every day because you try to capture different territory.
Here's the problem with that, though. I don't like running either.
Do you like walking?
I do walk sometimes. I've been known to walk.
Do you not walk or run? Do you just not move? You just like go from one place? Because that's why I realized is like human beings are meant to walk or run for like we're like horses kept in a stall all day.
I mean, I walk a fair amount. Most of my jobs have involved a fair amount of walking. I do like going for walks around the neighborhood.
Just come on and walk some. Kenzie and I try to walk for like an hour or 2 most days. Because we just realize like that'd be a thing to track is like,
it probably takes you about half an hour to walk to the sauna.
Oh, no, I'm not. The whole thing is, and then, like I have an e-bike that I hardly ever use. Once I'm done sauning, I want to be at home enjoying life. I don't want to be like biking or walking home in the freezing ass cold or anything. I want to be like at home in bed or recording a podcast with a dope ass person and playing chess. Like saunas have become my favorite thing because right at the end of summer, I started laying in a hammock and either reading a book or just like laying in the hammock just with the sun beating down on me for like an hour and a half. As naked as I could be, I'd have shorts like scrunched up like a G-string pretty much.
Yeah.
And like I'd start sweating. I was getting so good. And then winter hit and that's what started. And like I got unemployed and then winter hit and I was like, what the fuck do I do for like that was so much that's as much dopamine as like blow or Adderall or something is just being in the sun for like an hour straight.
Totally.
Feels fucking good.
I love the sun, man.
Love the sun.
I gotta get a fucking banana hammock.
Gotta get. That's something I'm not gonna be like. We should all get banana hammocks. Like, it's just, and that's the odd thing about.
You should make branded ones, like branded man thongs for the podcast.
That'd be fun. To come on the Talks with Tiger, you have to wear the banana hammock. Be odd. All of a sudden, have a weird.
You'd get a very different type, like group of guests coming in if that was the case.
That I would. But yeah, I mean, when you come to the sauna with me and we do our sauna competition, are you gonna be naked or are you gonna wear like shorts?
In the past, I've been naked with a towel on in the sauna.
That's what I normally do. Like a lot of people, like Lazar's always there completely naked.
Yeah.
Some people like just wear the towel. I like started like doing naked, but then I put a smaller towel like just over. Because I also figure like going in the hot tub or sauna like reduces the amount of like sperm you have, like your sperm count, because you're boiling.
Sauna does?
Hot tub does, so I assume sauna does. Sauna's hotter than hot tub. So anyways, I'm like, cool. I'm also just like kind of protecting it. And your hair gets like melting hot. You got to put oil in it and then put water in it before you go in. And then even then, sometimes I'll put like a wet towel over it. Like that's the one buzzkill about saunas. Because when I didn't do that, I just went in there with dry hair. I had to shave my hair after a couple days because it got, and I was going like swimming and then in it.
Dried out.
Super dried out. Because it's like you literally touch it and it almost feels like it'd burn you, but it doesn't store enough heat to actually do that. Nuts. But anyone out there like kind of considering, because I listened to Joe Rogan for so long, and I'm like, I'm going to sauna one day. I'm thinking about like the DAC membership. Like if I quit it after a year or two, I could afford to buy my own sauna.
True.
You know,
That'd be pretty easy to build saunas.
Yeah, that'd be a cool thing of co-op though. Is like multiple people could pitch in to build it or buy it. Like,
yeah.
Same thing with like a float tank. Everyone's like, oh, you can just build it. But like people on Reddit who have done it, it costs the same amount in materials as you could just buy one for. Maybe get a little nicer one. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess for some people there's like the thrill of the building, but I don't know if you have the thrill of building something.
I do. I built a floating bed. I don't know if you ever saw, like it was like a floating bed and it had LED lights under it, so it looked like it was like levitating on light. And then we moved in here and people keep hitting their shin on it. And then, it got X-nayed out of there. And then now I have a bunch of wood that I don't use. But anyways, this is a great show back. Hopefully watching it back, the camera switching was decent.
What are you going to put in my background?
Ooh, what do you want?
Ooh.
Can it be you? Sure. Oh my God. Do you remember the kind of prank I played? Yeah. You posted on your Instagram story, you're like, hey, did anyone get a video of me performing that show last night? And I made a fake email address and sent you a video of just some like really fat person going like this. I'm like, oh yeah, man, I got it.
I was so angry. I was like, who the fuck did this? How dare you disrespect me?
So I could put a video like that behind you, or if you send me a video of yourself shirtless like that, I could just put you shirtless dancing behind you.
I like it. It's very meta.
Very meta.
And on that note,
deuces. Bye, everyone.
Asian deuces.